Our first presentation today will be on the Fulbright Scholar Experience by Ms. Laura McGovern.
So as Laura walks up, the board was very supportive when this emerged to approve and support Laura's request to take on this experience. And we're really excited for her to come here tonight and just share some information, not only about her trip, but probably more exciting, how that impacts what she's doing on a day-to-day basis in her classroom.
Thank you. As you can see, there's a video playing while I speak. So I'm not going to reference anything in particular, but I do hope you can check some of the scenery out. Thank you so much for your support. I could not have done it without the approval and support of Mike, Pia, my curriculum leader at the time, and my department, and everyone else. So thank you. In fact, you can't even apply unless you prove that you have approval from your school district. So it is crucial, as well as I'm greatly appreciative of it. Anyway, the goal of the award was for me to share second language instruction with a group of teachers at a small rural school outside of Bogota, Colombia. And second language instruction doesn't matter the language, that's just the methodology behind second language instruction. It happened to be English that they were teaching. But we shared a lot of really cool ideas. We collaborated. I was able to help plan and model some PSYOP strategies, which I was grateful to have the background here at Lake Park, taking the coursework that was offered. I could implement that, scaffolding, differentiation, and all those techniques that are critical to somebody learning a language, as well as many other students as well. The things that, it was transformative. It was 6 weeks, which might not seem like a long time, but it really was. It was a long time, but I was grateful for the time. It changed me in so many ways, but some of the things that it did for me was just a deepened sense of empathy and cultural awareness. And as a language instructor, I felt that I had empathy and cultural awareness. And I did to a certain degree, but this definitely brought it to another level. I think some of the things that are key that I'm able to bring back to my community and to my students is that ability to identify with students, no matter whether they're students here from another country or students here from Roselle or Itasca or whatever the feeder community may be, because they all come in with different backgrounds, different socioeconomic levels, different degrees of education, and for an educator's ability to identify with that is just one step closer to the success of the student. So that I didn't think I could be more culturally aware, and boy, I am. I really am. So I hope that I can continue to share my experiences and some of the things that I learned with my collaboration with my teachers there, with my department here. Hopefully I can share at a Institute Day coming up next semester. I'd like to maybe plan a little further and see if I can do that. But all in all, the experience, it encapsulated every aspect of our mission of the pillar, the 5 pillars, the portrait of a graduate. It encapsulated the resiliency, the global citizenship, the leadership, every aspect. So I feel like those are just, it's a springboard. I hope I can be a part of those committees or those processes and help in any way I can. But my contacts, my connections, my resources with the folks in Colombia will always be there. We remain in contact. I wouldn't say daily anymore, probably weekly. We're still sharing things all the time. And my connections I've made with the Fulbright community here in the United States are just a wealth of resources as well. And we continue to connect and share our resources and our time together. So thank you so much for that opportunity. I just can't tell you how it's made me a better person and a better educator. And I hope I can just keep carrying that forward and growing with it and encouraging other staff to consider a Fulbright DAST application at some point. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Can you remind us again the time frame of your trip?
Yes, I was there July 15th through August 28th.
And other than cultural empathy and awareness that you talked about, what else would you say was something really great that you can tangibly bring back to our students here at Lake Park?
Well, there's lots of,
Maybe not tangibly. I'll
yeah.
take that word out.
that was a little hard because you don't get out of Columbia with much.
I'll take tangibly out.
Yeah,
You know,
but-
things that we can touch here.
Yeah, well, you know, I have books and I have magazine subscriptions and I have ongoing connections with educators, their resources that we're constantly sharing. And those are the kinds of things that digitally I can share and bring back. Absolutely, with my department in particular.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing this.
Oh, it was completely my pleasure. I wish that you could meet all 250 of the students in my school and the staff. They're incredible people working under some incredible circumstances. There was no electricity for the entire time I was there at the school, and they hadn't had it for 9 weeks before I got there, simply because of a lack of getting somebody there to fix it. The funds were in place, the bureaucracy was such that it just took a very long time. So, yeah, so it was wonderful, learning how to work with challenges. Yeah.
So you mentioned potentially sharing some of the lessons during an upcoming Institute Day. Could you give us a little bit of a preview of what some of those might touch upon?
Well, absolutely, and I haven't really developed it to a large extent. However, I would bring the DAST program and all the various opportunities. I mean, my experience was 6 weeks, but they have experiences that are 2 weeks up to a year, depending on the award and the country and the content area. So mine was for second language instruction, but there are so many out there, and a teacher doesn't have to be an expert. They need pedagogy. They need help in pedagogy. They need help in showing them how to make books come alive without technology. They need help in all kinds of areas that we all can provide, and without even realizing it, right? So we have so much to offer, and I don't think we even know it. I didn't feel, there were times where I felt like, gosh, am I really doing anything for these guys? I'm just working with the teachers, and we're meeting, and we're developing curriculum, but am I really doing what they want? And in the end, I did. I did completely. They wanted somebody to validate what they were doing, somebody to bring what we had there and let them see it and say, oh yeah, we can do that too. Yeah. So yeah, I'd really like to expose folks to the Fulbright program because it is a very cool program, and I would definitely deepen our own sense of global citizenship here at Lake Park.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? Jeff?
Yeah, just as you've just raised, the global citizen. So what do we expect out of sending people to come back with, not only with the knowledge, the information, the interfacing with the folks there, but what are we bringing back here, as Tom said and others, to show global citizenry to our student base now through you? Is there any plan to have that? Is there any plan to continue to follow on? Is there anything that we're looking to have to, I mean, it's great opportunity, it's great stuff, but if we're not using it otherwise, then it looks like it's just a trip for someone to send down there. They gain the individual knowledge, they gain this stuff, but then how does the school itself benefit from her experience?
So I think in part that's where the plan that Laura's putting together for a presentation at an upcoming Institute Day comes into play. That's where she can start to provide some of that knowledge and education to other members of our staff, who then in turn could find themselves in situations where they have the ability to take on some experience to bring further information back to a wider array of students. One of the other connection points that I see here is, given Laura's friendships that she would have gained over there, I think there could be opportunities for some of the students in your class, maybe even in combined classes, to interface.
Absolutely.
Granted, you said they didn't have electricity right now, but provided maybe at some point they get electricity, there could be opportunities with this group, or maybe someone in the future that goes, to connect groups of kids from completely different parts of the world. And so there are plenty of opportunities. I would say this really is a start for us.
Okay, yeah, because I'd love to see a roadmap long range of what the intent is for the school, because faculty is great, but there's a short-lived window with students. And so bringing back your knowledge now, bringing back what you brought now, if you don't share it right away with the student body right away, it's going to be lost if it's a 2-year plan to get faculty up, to finally get a student up, that, you know, they're already graduated, the kids down there have graduated, that shared tie-in is missing.
So some of Laura's students will feel that immediate impact right now. I'm certain that they felt that immediate impact for the last 6-8 weeks that you've been back. But as you point out, John, that'll be really, it won't spread out all that far because we're talking about one teacher.
Right.
But over time, we can build capacity to provide richer experiences across the board.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'd love to see that long range stuff. So, awesome, thank you.
Yeah, and I think, you know, with electricity and internet reaching the school where I was, the goal is to do FaceTime with them, do sit-down interpersonal speaking, whether it can be old school, pen pals, you know, where we make some connections and hopefully, you know, one day meet. Who knows? But if not, as far as technology will allow us to do that.
What a great opportunity, though, for students that are trying to learn English to have a conversation with students who are also trying to learn Spanish.
Right. It's very rewarding,
Yeah.
I would think.
Chris?
Yep,
All
very
right.
good.
Joe and Bob, any questions or comments?
I don't have any questions.
Okay.
No.
Okay, thank you. All right. Thank you so
Oh, you're
much
welcome.
for sharing your
You're welcome. Thank you.